Money can't buy you class. Hey, hey, money can't buy you class. Guys, you know what's so disappointing is that me and my bestie were going to go to a cabaret show when it came out here in LA, and then all of this happened. I mean, there are other things more disappointing, but I just thought about that like, damn. We was finally gonna get to go see Countess, and this nightmare has happened. But you know what? While everything is going on outside and just all kinds of craziness, I'm here to bring you a bit of joy, okay? So let's get into it and let's get into some laughter. Also, if you guys like what you see here on Nikki Star TV, I know I normally say this at the end, but I feel like people check out at that point. I really need you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You can do one, you can do some, you can do all. I would really appreciate it if you do that, especially if you like, just to let YouTube know that you guys enjoy what I do over here. And that really helps your girl in the numbers. And, you know, YouTube starts recommending me to people because I hear it all the time. Not hear it, but I see it all the time in the comment section. And people are just like, I can't believe that I just found you. I've been looking for something like this. That's able to happen when you guys like and share my work and let people know that, you know, Nikki Star TV is here. So I would really appreciate your support in that area as well. You guys always support me here, and I feel like I can say that to my peeps because, you know, y'all got my back. Now that housekeeping is done, let's get into it, guys. It's mad late here. I have no idea what time it is. Like, I just, time is gone. Like, I don't know what day it is, what time it is. Like, this is how I missed this current episode. I would have reviewed this episode, but I thought it was Monday. Didn't know it was Friday. Keep me in your prayers. So we open up with this episode with Luann complaining about being in the basement. How dare you keep the Countess in the basement? I understand. Like, at her big age, I would not want to be in no basement. I'm not even close to Luann's age, but I would still feel some way. My really good girlfriend who I sat down with at brunch was telling me about how great my room is, and then to come and stay at her place, and she has me in the basement where apparently she keeps her dolls and doesn't have like a heater down there. I would feel some sort of way. I would feel some sort of way. Like, you are not going to put me at my big age as a senior member on this show in the same place where you store your Christmas decorations. Hell no. Hell no. You don't do your ex-husband like that, so don't do me like that. I can't believe that I'm here. I cannot believe that I'm here. I knew that Leah McSweeney was going to be great for this show, right? But y'all know I couldn't stand her. I said couldn't, past tense, because me and her, I'm loving Leah on this show. So far, so good for me. I love what I'm seeing from her. I love how she just comes off really down to earth. She is giving me Erica Jane of the Real Housewives of New York. Like, she is New York's version of Erica Jane, and I really like her. I really, really like her, especially in her confessionals. Her confessionals are like my reviews, right? She says everything that I'm saying about the show. Just from this episode alone, everything that she said in her confessionals, I was just like, oh my goodness, I just wrote this down in my notes about this scene. She's very wise and in tune with what's going on in this show and with the ladies, and she's not oblivious to the foolishness, and she calls stuff out, and I really, really love that about her. And I can't believe that I'm here because she was not my favorite person, but this show was really good for her image because it's giving us a side of her that we need to see, especially people who were not featuring her like myself. But I'm done. I'm standing Leah McSweeney. I like her. I really do like her for this show. Especially when she called out this moment that none of the other ladies called out. So I think this is like their third or so day in the Hamptons, third or second day in the Hamptons. And Ramona plans a trip to the winery. And Luann, surprise, surprise, decides not to go. Like, the whole time leading up to it, she was in and out and giving excuses. And then she was just like, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to sleep or whatever. I honestly think that she was giving an excuse because she wants to protect her sobriety. Leah was the only one who was just like, y'all don't think this is a bad idea? Inviting someone who struggles with alcohol to a winery? Like, how? I don't know why Ramona did that. I do know why Ramona did that. Listen, she's messy. Mother produces storyline. She is the only cast member on these Housewives shows that I do not mind producing storylines because she gives it. Even when it's about her, she gives it. And then the ladies were shocked that she didn't want to come. I'm like, are y'all kidding me? Y'all kidding like, you guys could not be that oblivious. However, they did bring Dorinda and Sonja to this winery. So maybe they are oblivious. Or maybe Ramona is just messy. Or maybe it's both. And I think it is. So while at the winery, the ladies are sitting down and having, little bites to eat. And then Ramona is just like, let's start, sharing some stuff so that we can get to know each other a bit more. I think she was more so doing that for Leah because she was a new girl and she just wanted to know more about her. I thought it was really smart. I thought it was really smart because we got to know a lot of interesting things about the ladies. I think we knew a bit about this, about Ramona just feeling really lonely. But she started to open up more about that and just be really honest. The last 2 seasons, Ramona was playing like everything was okay. I think this season she was just like, mask off. I'm not happy. I miss my husband. I don't like being the single girl around town. Yes, she's dating and, every day she's taking home a different guy. That isn't what she wants. She wants to be a wife. She wants to be up under Mario. And she's been with him for a very long time. That is her normal. And she hates her new life now. She's lonely. She is admitting it. She was just like, I was riding up here and I started crying and asking for my mom because I don't know what to do. I'm lonely. She just said it. However, if you've been watching her Insta stories, she is quarantined with Mario. So I don't know if they just booed up for the quarantine or if they're going to reconcile, but she seems happy. She seems happy and, she's not everybody's favorite, but I'm glad that she's happy because from what we're seeing now on this season to her Insta stories, she just really wants to be back with this man. I think she divorced him because she didn't want to wait around for him to come to his senses and realize that this young girl was only with him for his money. And that's eventually what happened. He got too old for the girl. The girl was just like, listen, I can't be with no old dude, especially no old dude who ain't got all that money. If I'm going to get up under these old balls, they got to be worth it. So after the young girl got done with him, he started to come back. And I think to save face, she divorced him because she didn't want to wait around for him to come to his senses. And she wanted to hurt him like he hurt her. However, I hate saying this. I hate saying this because I never want a woman to stay with a man that is doing them wrong. I think she jumped the gun on divorcing Mario. I really, really do. Because she even mentioned that he wanted to get counseling and she was like, no, you cheated, I'm done. And of course she was speaking out of hurt. Of course she did the right thing for her image, but I don't think she did the right thing for her heart because she's missing that dude and she just wants to be back with him. I think she's doing the whole I'm lonely and all of this because it's better to say I'm lonely than to say I'm missing my husband who cheated on me. Because then all the girlfriends are just like, oh no, you don't be with him. He did you dirty. How dare you go back to that? You could do bad all by yourself, right? So you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that from the people who love you and know that this man has hurt you and don't want you to go back to that. But it's the truth. That man was her life for, 30 years? She misses him and she wants to be back with him. And he messed up big time. And I think at this moment, she was just like, I'm already out of it. I can't get back into it. Like, what is everybody else going to say? So she's coming to the show with, oh, I'm lonely. And that's enough to express to the girls than to give it all and be judged by the women. You know what I mean? To like really reveal that I'm not only am I lonely, I'm lonely because I'm missing Mario, who embarrassed me on national TV and, in our little circle. So, she misses the dude and she's really happy being quarantined with him. And I just really hope that Mario does not play her again. Because what I don't want to happen is that this quarantine is over and he immediately stops playing house with her. You know what I mean? Like, this woman loves you. She misses you. She would not have divorced you if you would not have cheated on her. You messed up the relationship, right? She would have died being married to him. He messed that up. He is the only reason why they are not together, right? If you know that, why decide to be quarantined with her? Because she's with your daughter? You could be quarantined in a hotel across the street. You know what I mean? You could FaceTime with your child. Why are you over there in her home cooking dinner for the both of them? What you doing? Like, don't play those games with people's hearts. And I hope that's not what he's doing. I hope when they get out of this, they are still booed up for Ramona's sake. Because she does not want to be without him. I don't think she just wants to be somebody's wife. She wants to be Mario's wife. That's what it is. That's what all of this is about, all of the falling apart. She wants to be back with that man, but it's, it's hard to admit that, especially when you were doing a whole, oh, I'm done with him. I'm happy. I'm living my life. I'm going on all these dates. I love all of this. And, your girlfriends are not forgiving. Your girlfriends and your family are not forgiving. You know what I mean? They will be cordial just for you, but they will always have their eye on that dude, as they should. And can we talk about Sonja? Because Ramona and Sonja are like the textbook example of frenemies. They have this weird friend enemy kind of relationship where they will ride for each other, but they will shade each other and take each other down each season. And only they can do it to each other. Like Sonja can come for Ramona. Nobody else can come for Ramona. Sonja will come for them if they come for Ramona. Ramona can come for Sonja. Nobody else can come for Sonja. Their relationship is the perfect example of frenemies. Like their picture needs to be in the Webster Dictionary next to the definition of frenemies. That's what these two women are. Because while Ramona is crying her heart out, talking about her mother who passed away, talking about her horrible childhood, talking about how lonely she is, and just like, guys, we've all heard this, right? We've heard her say that she was lonely, especially this season. We've heard her, break down about her parents and her really, rough childhood. So it's not something new. So while all the other women are crying and like sympathizing with Ramona, Sonja is just eating her salad. And then she stops and looks up at Ramona and goes, I didn't know you were so self-realized. Really? Really, Sonja? This is what you say to your friend who was breaking down about her dead mother? Ramona is having a full breakdown and Sonja is just like, I didn't know you were so self-realized. I love her. She's a mess when she got a drink in her, but baby, she is good TV. Tinsley, still my girl. I don't believe this Bruce storyline. I don't believe that there is a Bruce. I don't believe that Bruce ever existed. I think that Tinsley is using this guy so that she can have something to talk about, so that she does not have to talk about the fact that she's still in a relationship with Scott. I think because she's so easily able to pull details about this guy when she's talking about him to the women. I think because she's able to do that she's pulling from past relationships, but I don't think there was ever a Bruce. I think that this is just storyline, and I think she's using Bruce as a front so that she does not have to talk about Scott. I do hope for her that, I think that her and Scott are supposed to be getting married this year. Lord, ain't nothing happening this year, but hopefully in 2021 when they do get married, I do hope that they start the process of, I don't know, in vitro or, a surrogate, something. I do know that she can't use the 2 embryos that she has because they are they were fertilized by her ex-husband. So she can't use those, and she's still paying to have, the embryos on ice. I'm not going to tell her to destroy them because I can never fathom being in that situation. But there's nothing that she can do because he's not going to go for it. The ex-husband is not going to allow her to, put those embryos into a surrogate to carry or into herself. And his current wife won't allow that either. I'd be damned. I would be at Tinsley's apartment every day, ready to fight. Like, you will not take away my children's trust fund. The devil is a liar. So she really can't do anything with those embryos. But I do hope that, she is able in some way to be a mother because she really does want children. Tinsley talks about it every season. She does want to be a mom because she expressed that when she was talking about Bruce, and she was just like, I think that I'm around people who have children because I'm not going to have my own. And I don't want her to give up on that. There are ways to have a child, especially when you got that kind of coin, baby. A baby can materialize for you. In all seriousness, I do hope that that window isn't closed for her because it's definitely something that she wants. Let's get into Leah, who was a mess as a teenager. Who's surprised? Who is surprised? She's a mess as an adult. She opens up to the ladies and talks about how she was having some drug issues when she was a teenager, and she was just really destroying her home. Her parents decided to put her into rehab because she was just getting out of hand. Well, baby, when she got back from rehab, her parents dropped her off at a halfway house with some nuns. It was just like, you're not coming back here. You are destroying our lives. Stay here and get yourself together. And Leah was really thankful for that because she said that really got her on the straight and narrow to an extent. But it actually saved her from the life that she would have had she kept on going down that path. And honestly, I applaud her parents for doing that, because that has to be a really hard decision to be like, I can't live with the child that I gave birth to. You know what I mean? Like, I can't raise this kid. Something is not right. I need extra help, and to reach out and to be able to get that help to save your child. Listen, it's a hard decision, but in Leah's case, it was the right decision, because look at her now. The most sanest person on the Real Housewives of New York. I mean, that is kind of easy to do because those ladies are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But, you know, look at her now. Look at her now. I will say this, though. What kind of threw me off a bit was when Leah was just like, because her parents put her in the halfway house with those nuns, that season of life really helped her, you know, have the mindset to run the business that she has now, and really prepared her for that. And really put her on the straight and narrow so that she could be the CEO that she is today. And I was just like, was it the halfway house or the NYPD? I felt like the NYPD was the one that got you straight, mama. Are John and Dorinda still together? Because I don't know how John, so far watching this season, could still be with this woman. Like, y'all know I love me some Dorinda. But the way she talks about John is that it's like he's just useless. Because we get to Dorinda and she starts crying and she's just like, I'm not happy, I'm falling apart. And one of you guys mentioned that she is crying about, you know, rich people problems. What she is, she's never or hasn't had to carry the load like this for a very long time. She, you know, was a single mom. She married a wealthy guy when she was really, really young. And she has been living a life of luxury for a very long time. And now that this man is gone, she's dealing with everything and on a really huge level. You know what I mean? So back in the day when she was on food stamps with her daughter, she was probably just dealing with that, just dealing with, you know, Section 8 and food stamps. Now she's dealing with mansions and apartments and businesses and managers and agents and brand deals. She has a lot that she's dealing with and has to manage with no help. So yes, it's rich people's problems, but I understand her feeling overwhelmed. I told you guys, like, before Miss RHONY came in and, you know, set me down, I told you guys that I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do any of these reviews because, you know, pilot season is crazy. And I am not complaining. I am very thankful that I was able to go out on auditions and, you know, test for shows and read for parts and read in front of people that I've always wanted to read for, and work with people here and work with people there. But it's a lot. It's a lot, especially when you're doing it all by yourself. There have been times when I've been, you know, going from one audition to the other on the other side of town, and I had a little breakdown in my car because your body can only take so much. So I understand where she's coming from. She's overwhelmed and she's exhausted. She's dealing with all of this stuff with no help. I will say this, getting back to John, the way she talks about him is like, he's just, like I said, a human vibrator. Like, she's just like, oh, John doesn't know how to help me with these things. He doesn't know how to deal with contractors. He doesn't know how to run a home. He doesn't know how to use a fork. He doesn't know how to wipe himself. He is a baby with no arms. Like, the way she talks about this man is that he's completely useless outside of sex. John, you can't still be with this woman. Do you have kids? If he was my dad, I would have called him up right after I watched that episode and been like, listen, let this broad go. She doesn't value you. And guys, y'all know that's the truth coming from me because y'all know I love me some Dorinda. But ma'am, you don't value this man. You do not value him. And in a sense, you're just using him as a warm body at night when you feel lonely. And that's not fair. You can't play with people like that because it's very obvious that John wants more. And it's very obvious that Dorinda doesn't. She doesn't. She just calls him over when she's feeling bored or horny. And nobody should go through that. I don't care how slimy they are. Nobody should be treated like that. Hoping for the both of their sakes that this relationship ends here because Dorinda don't love or care for that dude. She really don't. The way she has been talking about him since this season started is just like he ain't worth change for a quarter. I also do think that she's missing her husband, but I think she's missing her husband when she has to deal with things that he would normally deal with. I think she's getting a bit better. And not that she's forgetting about him, but his absence isn't sitting on her as heavy as it used to. So she's able to breathe now and, live a little lighter. But when stuff like this comes up, she just starts to break down because one, she's not used to handling it, especially not used to handling things on this level. She's also not used to doing it without him. So that's where all of that is coming from. She just misses her ex-husband because she doesn't want to deal with those contractors and those busted pipes. I think she starts comparing him to John, and it's just like, he cannot hold a candle to my man. Then let him go. Let him go, girl. When we get to Sonja, the comic relief of this show. What I will say about Sonja in this scene is that I think if she went first, she would have been able to share something. But I think at this point, because you guys know these scenes, like, they take hours to shoot. So these ladies have probably been at this brunch table for about 4 hours. And I think at this point, Sonja has just been drinking so much and not eating a lot. Aside from the Countess, Bethany, and Ramona, these ladies really don't eat on camera. So she's probably not eating a lot and she's drinking a lot. So by the time you get to Sonja, she is lit. So none of what she's talking about makes sense. She starts talking about that condemned townhouse. She slips in, sex with gigolos. So like, you don't know what she's talking about. None of it makes sense because you're listening to a drunk woman ramble. Bravo is going back to its roots. I promise you, because I just got finished reviewing The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and they were so shady and messy on that episode. And it seems like throughout this season, and really giving me a lot of Dynasty. And that is like what these shows are based off of. I'm not surprised that this show is being extra shady and messy towards Ramona, especially since she's an out and proud Trump supporter. And you know how Andy feels, right? You know how Andy feels about Trump. So I was not surprised, but I did, clench my pearls at the shade. Ramona was taking the girls over to her wealthy friend's home, and she mentions who the guy is and talks about he's this designer and he designed the skates that had the little lights on them or whatever. And she's going on and on and on about her wealthy friend. And Bravo, this messy little show, The Real Housewives of New York, posts a picture of an article from page 6 about the man's home that they're going to and how he held a fundraiser for Trump in the Hamptons. There was no reason for that article to be in this episode. No reason. It didn't make any sense, and it honestly confused a lot of people because a lot of people thought that the ladies were going to a Trump fundraiser. And the only reason why I knew that they were not going to a Trump fundraiser is because of Dorinda. Dorinda is anti-Trump. She is not a fan, and she is very vocal about it. So I knew that that's not where they were going, especially when Dorinda walked in and she was just, having a ball or whatever. I was just like, there's no way Dorinda would have stayed. No way. And there's no way that the show would not have mentioned that. So I knew it wasn't a Trump fundraiser. I knew it was just the show being messy. Ramona, they're going to come for you this season. There'll be a lot of Trump references concerning Ramona this season. Because why did they do that, guys? To be messy, to be shady. We're getting back to our roots on Bravo Network, and I'm here for it. And continuing with the messy, the ladies dragged this dude in their confessionals and in the scene, especially with Sonja. So Sonja at this point, by the time they get to this dude's house, she's lit. She's saying every and anything that's on her mind. Specifically how this guy only invited the housewives over because he was trying to sell this house. And I believe it. I believe it because as soon as the ladies get there, he starts, trying to take them on tours and showing them all of these different rooms and all of the things that he has done to this hideous home. I thought the outside of his home was beautiful, but then we went in. I was like, this is poorly decorated and poorly designed. Kitchen was a mess. This bowling alley was the best feature that they had. And then he takes us to this DJ room. It's like, what was the inspiration for this DJ room? An abandoned Brooklyn subway? Like, what is going on? It was a mess. It was a mess. And he wanted $20 million for that wreck. That's why he had the ladies and all the cameras going all over that place, because he was trying to sell it. Especially now, ain't nobody buying that monstrosity. It would be really wise for that dude to rip out all of those elderly bachelor elements that he added to this home and just make it hella basic so people can put in what they want to put in. But he has really crafted it to a certain tasteless taste. And there ain't no way that home is going to sell for $20 million, especially after Miss Rona. Not happening. Not happening. And you know what? Good. Speaking of Miss Rona, I would really like to know if Bravo has like done some type of setup to film the agents on $1 Million Listings New York. I don't watch LA. I tried to get into LA. It's kind of corny. If Frederick goes over there, I'll watch it, but New York is my jam, right? I'm wondering if they are doing some kind of virtual filming of these men because, baby, I know that those agents are losing it during this pandemic. It's unfortunate, right? Of course it's unfortunate, but it's kind of gonna be good TV. So I want to know, I would love to know, if you guys got the tea, let us just know in the comment section below, but I would love to know if they are doing some kind of filming during this whole situation. If they're not filming now, after we get out of this, will be very interesting. Be very interesting. I hope the cameras are rolling then because, baby, that is going to be a season. Tinsley, I'm disappointed that you dated that Pharaoh guy. I really, really am, because you got money. You don't have to date Tinder-right men with the skin of a leather couch. Like, you don't have to do that. You can do better, sis. You have money and you are pedigree. You don't have to go after a Pharaoh. You know what I mean? Like, you got coin. You could do better. Or is this the cream of the crop of the rich community? Because let's be real, there are not a lot of attractive, wealthy people. Say what you want about the poor and the working class, but we be looking good over here. Something about that oppression just makes us fine as wine. I'm telling you, when this quarantine is over, I plan on pulling a Ramona. Sans her political views, I am going to be hitting them streets out and about, living my best life. Although she is dating through the pain, she makes it look good. Let me correct myself. Not as soon as this quarantine is over, because I'm going to wait and see, see if people start dropping. If it's really safe, you know what I mean? If they let us out and people start getting sick again, my hot girl summer is ruined. Because when they let us out, I'm going to give myself a couple weeks. Because I just want to see if people are starting to drop like flies. And then I'll keep myself inside. You got to be safe. Let some other people who are ready to get out, let them go and test the waters before I get out there living my hot girl summer. Or will it be a hot girl winter by the time we get out of this? Or a hot girl fall for 2021, Lord. We ain't never getting out of here. I'll stay home. Okay, we need to talk. Why do the ladies hate when the Countess wears floral? They hate it. Anytime she wears a floral dress, they read her for filth. Because the Countess shows up to this party in this floral dress and Ramona is embarrassed. Like, she doesn't want to introduce her to anybody. Her eyes gets big and she looks at her and she's just like, oh, floral in the Hamptons? She was like, that dress belongs in Savannah, Georgia or Nantucket, but not in the Hamptons. And I will say this, Ramona's right. The Countess did not look like she fit. Not in that floral dress. And this is why we love Leah. Because when she finally shows up to this party, she's just like, oh, weird white people. She's like, this is a weird white people party. And then she was just like, this is giving me eyes wide shut. And let me tell you something. I know exactly what she's talking about. My best friend, he does not watch this. What's up, Johnny? He invited me to a party in Hollywood Hills. This beautiful, like, huge mansion overlooking, I think it was, overlooking Hollywood? And like right off of Mulholland. If y'all from here, y'all know what I'm talking about. But it was just like this huge, beautiful mansion all the way up in the Hollywood Hills. And when I walked into that party, I was just like, my mom, if she knew where I was at, she would kill me, because I immediately felt like somebody was going to take my organs and like bury my body in the Hollywood Hills. It felt very Get Out to me. So when Leah walked in and she said that, I said, sis, I know what you're talking about. I've been to those parties. Just one. Have I been to another party like that? No, that was my first and only weird white people party. Never again. Never again. I partied with middle class and working class whites. Them rich and wealthy ones, never again. I was terrified, guys. Terrified. And all the people of color, at this party were just like, when you leave, I leave. It was so creepy. So I knew exactly what Leah was talking about. I also don't know why the ladies get upset with Ramona when she, starts acting like, posh and that she's too good to be around them and starts putting on this facade of she's this like wealthy 1%er. I don't know why they get shocked that she does that when she has done that to them every season. Like even last season when she didn't invite them to her party, she only invited like her wealthy friends, not like, her rich friends or the women of the show. The women of the show are not in the upper crust of the 1%. That's what Ramona is trying to get to. That's what she's been trying to get to her whole life. Ramona comes from humble beginnings. She has worked her entire life to be in a place where she can rub elbows with someone who owns a $20 million home. Like that is her desire. So when she does this, the ladies start to feel some sort of way, like she's slighting them. And I'm like, she is. Is it wrong? Yeah, but this woman wants to be a part of this like high society and she will do whatever. Yes, it's very sad to watch this woman at her big age try to be a part of the in crowd, but that makes her feel like something. That makes her feel like she's accomplished or that she belongs. That's why she used to come for Bethany a lot, because Bethany would act like she was coming from this, working class kind of life. And Ramona was just like, no, you're not. You don't come from what I come from. I had to really work to get where I was at. And Bethany is like, I had to work to get where I was at too. But Ramona is just like, no, you had help. So that bothered her a lot because Bethany was what she was working to be while acting like she wasn't, right? Since this woman has been on the show, she has been trying to get into these kinds of communities. So when she gets around them ladies, she disengages from them and acts like, she's helping them get into something. Like she acts like she's the posh one and she's the one who was, inviting them and introducing them to, the elite. And then you have somebody like Sonja who was in this lifestyle, who knows about this lifestyle, who married into that lifestyle and was, rubbing elbows with the elites. And it bothers her because she's just like, who do you think you are introducing me to these people? I knew them before you. I was in before you. And then it starts to hit Sonja in a very sensitive place because she wishes that she was able to get back into high society. She married into high society, got divorced, and was kicked into, just the rich community. She used to be a part of the wealthy. Now she's a part of the rich. And that is something that has been really difficult for her to adjust to. So when she sees her friend acting like she's in, she feels some sort of way because she's just like, I was there. Sonja is very sensitive about the life that she used to have. So sensitive that the littlest thing can set her off, especially when she's drinking. So seeing Ramona act like this is setting off Sonja. She's calling it out. She's getting really upset. She starts falling apart and talking about her past life. And one of Ramona's friends, who I don't think she was saying it like an insult, I think she was in a conversation with another divorced woman talking about how they were trophy wives. They were accessories to the men that they were with. It didn't come off shady to me. I felt like she was trying to relate to her and say, yeah, this is our lives. This is how it is with these men. And then Sonja gets really upset, starts talking about she doesn't shave her coochie and she's not an accessory. She was her husband's partner. And then she starts going off on Tinsley. And Tinsley is just like, why are you always coming for me? Again, jealousy. Because Tinsley represents everything that Sonja wishes that she was. And then she starts calling Tinsley a trophy wife. And my girl Tinsley is like, let me tell you something, baby. I ain't no trophy wife. I met my husband at boarding school. You met your husband at a diner when you were a waitress and he was 100. What? Like, come through, Tinsley. Let her know. What I really like about Tinsley is that she comes from money, right? She's wealthy. She's pedigree. She does act like it, but she's not horrible. You know what I mean? It's not something that she talks about to make other people feel less than. This is just her reality. This is who she is, but she never tries to down anybody or act like she's better than other people. This is just her life. I really like her. She's as down to earth as anyone from high society could be. Men get to be short and unattractive and still have women who run after them. This is why I love Leah. She tells it like it is. She tells it like it is because listen, we all were looking at this Tinsley and Farrell situation and thinking, wow, if he didn't have any money, she would not have given him the time of day. And I'm so disappointed because she comes from money. Is this the only option that wealthy women have? You know what? I think so. I think this is the only option. Oh, sorry. You know, you can't have it all. Oh gosh, so while Sonja is screaming about a coochie, Ramona is still getting a tour of this terrible home. This home is so tacky. How do you have a $20 million home and cheapen it? Like, it just looks so terrible, and all the things that he has added has not made it any better. I feel like he devalued this home. And as we're getting all of these shots, because Bravo is giving him the ad that probably he paid for, he's showing Ramona to all these rooms. Ramona don't want nothing to do with them. She hears Sonja screaming. The guy is like, should we go in there and check on her? Sonja is screaming about her coochie, and Ramona is just like, no, let me see more of this hideous home. Sonja's having a meltdown, and now it's just time to go. I think at this point, Sonja got so rowdy that they were probably asked to leave, because Sonja was uncontrollable. Like, there was nothing that you could do to this woman. She was scaring men. She was pouncing on this guy at the party who looked young and old at the same damn time. Like, he was giving me 25 and 72, all in the same face and attire. I didn't know what was going on with him, but she's like flirting with him. He's giving off an embarrassed laugh, and she's being very aggressive with this old man kid, and it's just very cringe. The ladies are uncomfortable, so they pull her out of this home, and as they try to get her out of the home, this man is walking in the hallway trying to get around this woman and her craziness. She puts her vagina on this married man. He turns to the camera and gives us a look of fright. Like, he was just terrified of Sonja, and it was a mess. It was good TV, but it was a mess. They are literally pulling her out of this home. Sonja, good TV. She is screaming about a man in her vagina, and they are like trying to get her out of this man's home. I don't know what happened with the Countess here, because she did not seem like she had any beef with the women at that hideous house showing that they were at. She didn't seem like she had any beef. She did say that she was bothered by the fact that Leah was drinking, and she thought that she would be her sober buddy, but that's not Leah's responsibility. And she owned up to that. She's just like, it's not her, responsibility, but I did think that we were going to be in this together. Still, not Leah's responsibility. She doesn't have to tell you when or when not she's going to have a drink. That's her business. That's her prerogative, right? So the last we get of Countess Luann is her pulling Sonja out of this man's hideous house showing. And then the next morning, we get that she left Ramona's home because she didn't like being in the basement. And listen, I got it. I told y'all I understand where she's coming from. She has expressed to Ramona several times that she does not like being in the basement, and she has complained the whole time. But up until her leaving, it seemed very lighthearted. So I'm like, what did we miss? Normally we get the black and white footage of what we missed, like what actually went down when the cameras left and the ladies are filming it with their iPhones. We didn't get any of that. All we got is that Dorinda said that she was CC'd on a text message to Ramona. And I'm like, that makes no sense. First of all, you can't CC a text message unless it's a group chat. Was it a group chat, or did a producer send this text to you that was sent to Ramona? I think what happened was the Countess, you got to tell production that you're leaving. I think that she sent the text to Ramona and probably to one of the producers, then sent that text to Dorinda. And here's why they sent it to Dorinda: because they needed to film the scene and Ramona was not up yet. So they needed somebody to show Ramona this text message because they did not want to wait for this woman to wake up to show her the text message. So that's the only reason why I think Dorinda was CC'd, because nobody else was sent that text message. So everybody started reading it from Ramona's phone. And I will say this, Countess, I'm not on your side concerning this situation now, because I was on our side before, and I felt like I wouldn't want to be in the basement if I'm at my good friend's home, especially as a senior member on this show. I don't want to be in the basement, period. That ain't my thing. I need windows, okay? I need light. I want to wake up with the sun on my face. So that ain't my thing. However, Ramona says in her confessional that she gave Countess a room on the upper level. However, the Countess did not want to share a bathroom, I think, with Dorinda. So she didn't want to have a shared bathroom. She wanted to have her own bathroom. And the only way that you could have your own bathroom in that home is to be in the basement. Now I'm not on her side anymore, because you had a choice. And you chose the other room. You just did not know that it was the basement room. But Ramona offered you the best room. and you didn't like it because you didn't want to share a bathroom with Dorinda. I get it. I don't like sharing bathrooms, but don't make it seem like Ramona intentionally put you in the basement when you did not like the accommodations that she provided to you. And then, unless we're missing something, this text message just seems to come out of nowhere. It seems like she overreacted. What probably happened was she woke up in this freezing room that one of the dogs pissed on the carpet, and she probably walked into that when she was going in the bathroom. And then while she was probably brushing her teeth, a spider fell on her shoulder, and that was just the last straw. And she sent this text message and left and overreacted. That's what I think happened. But I'm not on Team Countess anymore. Like, she was wrong with this situation. I'm on Team Ramona. Team Ramona for this one. She did everything right. I will say this though. I thought that the Countess was making a turn for the better, especially when she owned up to her issues and really apologized to the ladies. Like Sonja said, it took a whole season later, but she still did it. I thought that she was, making a change and turning over a new leaf. She probably still is, but this has shown me that she has a lot of work to do, because what I don't want her to do this whole season is to drag the women, then apologize for her poor behavior. Not at this age, Countess, and not at this point in your friendship. You cannot continue to hurt your friends very badly and mistreat them and then come with this apology and think that everything's okay and that you can start over. You have got to do better, ma'am. You have got to treat these women better. Team Ramona, she was not wrong. What do you guys think about this episode? What do you guys think about this situation? Do you agree with the Countess or do you agree with Ramona? Which team are you on? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next week for the following episode of The Real Housewives of New York. And I will be there bright and early because, baby, we got to talk about that vibrator and the chicken. I cannot wait. I feel like Bravo has listened to us and they are doing what needs to be done, because Beverly Hills delivered, and I feel like next week New York is going to start delivering again. They have been delivering. Like, I have not been disappointed with any episodes. This episode was a bit of a filler, but Sonja really elevated it. So she did what needed to be done, and next week she's going to do whatever needs to be done, because I feel like that vibrator is either Leah's or Sonja's. I cannot wait. There's a vibrator in the chicken. I cannot wait. See you guys then. Love ya. Bye.